I am. So I'm like, oh my god. They came out with the movie Sinners, but I didn't even really put it together yet. Hold on, I made a mess. It be something as small as that. I be thinking, oh my goodness, what I'm about to eat today. But we don't grocery shop like regular people no more. Since they swapped my husband without my permission on my property. They trying to program this one to do the same things like he used to do, but it don't. If it's a robot, it's not working. I keep telling them it don't work. And they still won't come pick it up and clear the robots out of my house. Because they want to try to humiliate me with having the robots not work or whatever. Properly. But I just had this that kimchi sauce or whatever the hell it's called. From Chipotle. And it's good, it's strong. It come and kick you in the, I don't know, it's like a very smooth. Okay. Calm down. Hold on. Hold on. Where is he going? Oh, he's back there on my food. Oh. Okay. Let me go somewhere else. I guess I could talk on the way over there and smoke my cigarette, but yeah. It got a little, it's like a little, I don't know what to call it because I never had nothing like that before. So it tastes good on the little salad and everything. But it's not hot, but it's not something, but it's a very smoky. You know what I'm saying? It's a very smoky kind of taste or whatever. I kind of liked it, I guess. Anyways, that's beside the point. I need to move somewhere it's quieter. So, I'm probably going to try to watch it tonight, okay? Because I didn't go see the movie or whatever. But I was just trying to put two and two together. I'm like, wait a minute, this is what this is. So, all what the fuck they was trying to tell us, warning us about, or we was warning people about, or whatever. About the 1%ers, or these people was talking about these families, or whatever this is. It's like, no, it's a frequency. It really ain't got nothing to do with the families necessarily, maybe too. But no, these people are building that right now. Like, these are people that was around what they would call a scapegoat or a cash cow or something like this, and because of what they stole from us, these people are going to go on to name themselves powerful beings here, and we're supposed to sit down and serve them because we had a blessing on our life that they didn't have, or we had a calling on our life that they didn't have, that because they're already demons, whether they were domesticated demons or animals or creatures or entities or whatever, or not. They didn't have these things, but they had the advantage of them because these would be the people that would show you, guide you, maybe even harm you along the way so that you can see. Do you get what I'm saying? And what it is they decided to just act like we don't exist and then go and just take and just move on up and just use the pattern, use the tools that we're supposed to be taught to those of us that's chosen, that's going into this new world order, and keep them for themselves. But I was putting up earlier, I bet you Hitler didn't even kill no Jews. I bet it's these motherfuckers. It's them Dems and them Jews. Well, I didn't even mean to say Dems like Democrats, but that could go in there. Okay. Demons. 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 And then you got your red line in defense. Like, y'all better back the fuck up. I see you now. So it just made me think about everything. Like, I was just eating my food and I'm like, oh my goodness, hold on, they think they slick or something like this. But this lets me know kind of like the caliber that we're dealing with. It's not that scary once you think about what you really got to do, because these could be petty criminals. These could be like people thinking that we could just go back to like mobbing and shit like this and it's going to clear the air, you know. Like, you know, these are like, it's going to be mobsters out there getting eaten up by zombies and stuff like this because they think, because some of the mobsters wanted to beat us down out of them high places too, because this is how they felt like the fathers, or, you know, the ones that was maybe more spiritual or something, and treated them kind of like badly, and then they had to go beat people's heads in to get some respect. So some of these people, they tough, they had that's why I say it's kind of like, I guess, where your trauma bond can be with yourself. As guess what I'm thinking? Same with, like, you know, people might look at me and say, oh, you sleep and you lazy. No, I have narcolepsy. That's what I have. But okay, whatever. You don't have no business looking at what I'm doing in my house in the first place. And then somebody could be like, but look at me, I stand up and clean all day. Bitch, that is a disease. You have a mental illness. And some of these people, I be looking at them like, don't you know I knew what you was like in your real life before you became a demon? Don't you know? Who knew hell was so clean? So fresh and so clean. These people don't know what I know, what their house looked like before they went or to the other side, or before they traded on the Christ. And they got them paid lifestyles that you got them contract. You had to sell your soul to have a lifestyle. To have a lifestyle and get a whole bunch of viewers on YouTube to do and be what 1 million or 1 billion other people is doing and being at the same time. But you got people that God presented with a case, and he handheld and molded these children, or at least me. I just say me. And you want to stop me from what big thing that the Father got for me? So, like, you know, people that's dentists, their kid, a couple of their kids for generations and generations, a couple of their kids might become dentists. Doctors, their couple of kids, they might become doctors. Politicians, a couple of kids might become politicians. Royals, couple kids in succession are gonna become royals or kings or queens. Gods, you born one, and at some time you're gonna be a god. And I don't remember God going to college to get all these degrees and all this shit to become God. You understand? 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have a whole bunch of kids. If you're a mobster, 1 or 2 of them is gonna be a mobster. They're probably gonna strive because they girls is they princesses times, unless you dark skinned and you was something that was like a mulatto or something like this, then they might have a little hidden, you know, inheritance for you. You might get it later on if the family allows it. But for their little girls, their little Italian girls or whatever, they're gonna probably try to get them to be something better than what they are. It's just the process. It's just a process. It's just like these people don't like to see what is good or what is, they want to ruin it. So again, some of the mobsters think you had it too easy. You know, some people that had to work jobs, 9, 10 jobs, you got it too easy. You never even had to work a day in your life. Hey, well, I worked in this family that was a fake, and I didn't even get paid. I think even in the Bible, when they let a servant go, a servant, slave, indentured or otherwise, they have to have them to have the opportunity to say, I don't want to be here anymore. You cannot kidnap and trap the person after a certain time of servitude. They have to pay them. And in some of these cases, you're supposed to have been paid. It's back pay. There's interest now, because we're in the real world. The court system don't want to work. Oh, especially, oh, you know, the chosen one. That everybody already knew who it was. And I could see some of y'all too that used to live around me and you in these positions of power. So you know who I am. And so then I guess we at the time where Shiloh is coming and getting the scepter and gonna rule over everything with an iron rod. And people ain't gonna like it probably. You know, and then they gonna complain. And I know you got your pay. Some of these people is paid. Well, I guess you can call them that too. Tarot readers, terrorists. What they gonna do from all sides? The girls, they got these nice homes and they show us their homes all organized and everything with OCD. Then you got your tarot readers. Then you probably got your celebrities that come and show their houses, like the Kardashians and stuff. These is all on the same playing field. And then they'll micro analyze your house and put it on the dark web or something and try to front you off or something like this. I told you, I'm not worried about doing nothing but waking up with a clear mind and a pure heart and a triple the size Ace of Wands scepter in my hand until it feels good. I got two mothers in my house, two daughters with children. I'm not cleaning up nothing up no damn body. I'm not that grandma. I might not even be their grandma. The one supposed to be the grandma here with these people, they living the lifestyle that I'm supposed to be living. Because I'm already in my humanity and other creatures, the energy is cut off. This is Christ coming, Jesus saying, I'm worried about myself this time. And when I get a footing, then I could probably help some people. And I can't help nobody. I don't got no footing. I can't help no. I can't do nothing for y'all. But try to get your mind right for real. Not on no old buffer shit. Not on no old bullshit. For real. A lot of these people think that they done with because of the things that they did against the Holy Spirit and stuff like this. You could be. You should be. Even when it comes to Rhaenyra, because we know who that is. We know who Daenerys is. It's all the same person. Jon Snow, it's all the same person. It's the person that the people is denying. But, you know, some of feel with the fathers when they pass away or when they get downsized or something, they start working with their DNA. When they were in charge or they didn't tell them the adventures and the things that they could do with their DNA. They waited until they died or they got pushed aside or they just gave up and then whatever. With me, I feel like they was already playing with my DNA for the past 20 years or something, probably with these fathers or these feathers, to keep them in power when it was never supposed to get power. But there could have been one. What if this is the case? There's one man. He got an assorted array of seeds in his. You know, somebody's womb can have an assorted. They can have alien seed and regular seed. They can have this, that, whatever. Okay. This is why they could have started to mark the traits in the DNA and pull that DNA out and create people just with that marker and let them be the head of a clan or something. But it's the same man. They're just drawing out, say this is a Freemason or this is what I call the Freemasons or something in the likeness of it. Somebody that has these strands. Everybody don't have these strands of DNA that I'm talking about. So, do you get it? The problem we be having is even if they did that to try to pull out the strands of my DNA to attach to me to steal my money or my abundance or positions or whatever. I'm just thinking something what they could have done. Say there's a breed of me that's linked to the Kardashians. They could have already unalived that person or sacrificed that person for their fame. Now you're reaching over here into this DNA. So some of these people, their DNA is jumbled up as well. So with the Kardashians, I see my grandma's DNA. I see my mom's DNA, which looks a little bit different. I see the grandfather's DNA. I see Elvis's DNA. I see my spouse's DNA with Rob Kardashian. So that doesn't mean that they have it. You understand? That don't even mean that that's who's driving those forces. I see recently, over the past 10 years, I seen Niecy's DNA, my cousin, my so-called cousin, okay? But again, if you look at her, she don't look like either one of her parents. Her hair texture don't match that of any of her both parents. So then again, that don't mean that we're the only ones that could have been swapped out, or we're the only ones that could have not been our parents' actual seed. This could be more of an alien breed, I'm thinking, or Star Trek-y breed, okay? But, excuse me, I feel like they spliced something. They did something to the Kim energy that's linked to my DNA, because I have pictures of me looking just like Kim Kardashian. One could have been light, one could have been dark. This could be the person who sacrificed me or whatever for fame, okay? Back with the whole, I woke up thinking about through the wire energy. So that somebody could be saying that's a twin. I doubt it's a twin, but I feel like it was something they pulled off my DNA. Somebody could have met me and said, oh, but she's too dark, she won't fit in, something like this. Okay, and then they created something in my likeness, right? And this is when God, when the whole Kim Kardashian split happened, that was God saying, damn, why you couldn't find one like you? But I feel like they did find one like me. They created something that was not like me, okay? Or was lighter than me. I don't think I have a twin. I feel like because of my identity, they issued me two social security numbers with the same exact name on it. Twins don't have the same exact name. The same first, middle, and last name. Both of the social security numbers I have had my full name on it, spelled the same exact way. The numbers was different. I feel like that was a ploy to cover up my true identity. But they could be trying to create something in my likeness. It could be a Kim Kardashian. And then they made that famous, and they made that person be prosperous or something like this. Okay, off of the energy. And then they're saying, oh, it's a twin. But I could have been a sacrifice, paper genocide, or otherwise. It could have been a murder. Even though in the past 4 years, I took a picture of myself, and the picture that I took was still the identical. It would look like me and her, except for I'm plus size, could be identical twins. Me and Kim. But I'm talking about Kim Kardashian at 19 and 20 years old. So you put her 19-year-old picture next to my 42-year-old picture. We look exactly the same age and everything. So at 42, I was still looking like I was 22. At 22, Kim Kardashian, how she looked, that's how I looked at 42. You get what I'm saying? Just brown skin and thick. That's it. But again, when I was known for my natural body, my natural curves, my butt was not too big, but it was nice. My natural body, my natural physique. Okay, with no work done. You see? So the BBL could be built off of like us that had that natural, that just motherfucking right. And all these feminines that's crowding around these men, if they took men from my service, okay, my workers or my property or my assets or my condiments from my stuff, and started to bring them into a secret club with them, and started to, again, that's not holding on to a slave. That is someone that's of service, or a worker, or a piece of property, or a gift, or whatever the fuck they are. So normally somebody would be in their castle or their palace or in their position of power, and they would be physically around people where they can say, hey, we're such and such. Go over to these kingdom or whatever like this and find out if they got him over there, and go get him and bring him back. Or go bomb them motherfuckers because they won't give my shit back. Do you see what I'm saying? Somebody is taking away, somebody's trying to strip me of my power to be able to retaliate or protect myself. So in the past, queens could have found themselves in these particular situations here. And when they came back in, if the spouse said you bow down and do all this other shit behind the scenes, or you whatever, then after the king go run ahead of the queen and take her position and let her back in, then you got to submit to that man or something like this. This is what somebody, I feel like this is what somebody wants to happen with me. I feel like from where I'm at, then I could, if this is a reality, I'm still the motherfucker now, okay? And so I can strip that person of their power and say, I don't want a man like Victoria did. I don't want my husband nowhere near my crown or any power, or like in Reign when I don't know if it was Elizabeth or Mary, all right, but when Elizabeth or Mary came in and was like, that dude had married her, and then he started doing something. She found out that he was something shady, like moved some properties around or got rid of some servants, or he did something. And she was like, and she smacked the shit out of him or something. She was like, you will never, this marriage was something like this, you will never reign equal to me. And I think that they could have got an annulment or something like this, or something was over at that point. Okay, so you know, a whole bunch of people grabbing on the power that don't belong to them, trying to use it again. It's not, it might be working towards, you know, your money and your finances, but it's not working with your energy, because they're not the real people that's in charge. That'd be like, I know I'm in charge, nigga. You okay, you doing all that to all this outside shit, but you're not doing nothing to the fact that I am who I said I am. And that's just it. So this is what I'm saying. Even with the old Arabic cultures, Islam, the father would pluck up the husband and take him. Now, maybe this was a physical thing where the daughter could see this, and she could see how the dad and the man is moving together. She might get a little jealous or something like this because she's not a boy, and you know, and this man respects it. But that, but that was silly, because if you build a family, you having all these, you popping all these kids out, you building this kingdom. If something was to happen to you, okay, you say you there to protect and serve your children, you'll do anything to protect your children. But if something were to happen to you, if this was a method, so say nowadays they take them, they put a bag over their head and take these men from their home, make sure that there's a clone there with the wife, so she's not there alone, and then they take them on this magic carpet ride and show them the kingdom and everything. The daughter is at home. She don't know what the kingdom look like. She don't know. So if the dad and the spouse get killed out there in the field, it's almost like that lion sitting there on top of that podium looking down at the lion and the unicorn like, we're, you know, dad, we're, you know, and the dad normally brings back a little squirrel or something, let the baby lion eat it. Let the young lion eat a gazelle or something. Bring it back and lay it at the feet and say, stay here. I'm going to go out and hunt some more, or I'm going to go do this. You know, here you go. And then you the young lion up there like, wait a minute, it's been like a year. I haven't felt my dad's presence, or if this was real life in the physical, I haven't seen my dad pull up and I don't know how long or whatever. You know, what's going on? I'm kind of starving. Okay, there's no more knowledge for me to feed off of. There's no more, I'm kind of, I don't know. And then you had to kind of try to figure it out yourself. Because it's almost like you can't move from the podium. You can't move from that, you know, you can't. If you look at the crest, Queen Elizabeth's crest, he's gonna break his neck if he try to jump. The young lion is gonna break his neck if he try to jump down from that area. Now I'm not saying that it's not possible, but you get what I'm saying? We're just using a couple of analogies here. So I think that this is what these people have been doing. But again, mind you, from the past 20 years, if these people was on some stealth energy, that means when your dad was dating or hanging out, you don't know what your dad or mom was doing or something like this. Say, for instance, there's too much energy where I'm seeing my dad's girlfriends where, okay, I wasn't getting no benefit, and I wasn't walking around here like, yeah, I'm the daughter of the king and shit like this. I didn't know. But these people could have known. My dad's girlfriend's daughters, my dad's other so-called wife, maybe, her children, something that they knew. The way I'm picking up on their energy, whether inside or outside of the Truman Show, something that they knew that I didn't know. Do you get what I'm saying? Where I can see back in the day, you know how you feel like, oh, my dad is pretty powerful or whatever. He protects me. He feeds me. I have everything I need. Yeah, he don't spend that much time with me, but I don't feel, I walk around here and I don't feel in fear or whatever. I feel like if my dad, something happened to me, I'm going to say, Dad, this happened or something. And my dad seemed like to handle it, or I could handle it, or most times. But if I can't handle it, then I'm going to tell my dad, see maybe he can handle it or something like this. Meaning that the time when I was getting bullied by those boys on the way from the store, and they was kicking me in my back and punching me in my head and slapping me on my face and stuff like this, and I just was taking it a couple times until I turned around and I had to fight all three of them. Now, they didn't do it to my two play sisters. It's something about me that they did it to me. See, now back then I was thinking about this. Their uncle was already in jail for life for supposedly murdered, but that could have been street credit because we was on the south side at the time. Now, that could have been street credit why nobody was fucking with them, but they was messing with me. But this would also be something about, genetics or something, why they was fucking with me. And they didn't really mess with them. This was like probably back in 80 something. 87 to 89 maybe. I don't think I was over 10. I don't think I was over 10 years old yet. We was little, because I think we had lived there at the Jackson house around that time. I was little still. I was little. Because I think we moved from the Jackson house maybe to the Greens, and then from the Greens to the north side. So we was littler. We was smaller back then. So I was thinking about that. But again, it was happening. And then I fought them. And then I came back and I was crying, because every time I fought people, I was crying because I could fight, but I didn't like to fight. Right? So I was crying and went back home, and I bust out like, "Oh, Dad, this happened," or whatever. And then he's like, "What happened? What's up?" I said, "Yeah, it's these boys and they keep doing it or whatever." And then I had to fight them. And then he got in the car, and I said, "I don't know. I think they live over here or something." And then we got in the car and we went around there. He was riding around trying to figure out where these boys live. And then I said, "I think it's right there. That's them right there." And then we parked the car. We got out, and then we parked the car and we got out. And he was talking to the man or whatever, and the man stepped up, but they had like a pit bull, and he had the dog like trying to intimidate the dad or whatever. And I was in the car. And the dog was running up like about to bite my dad or whatever. And I got out of the car and I stood in front of the dog, and I looked at the dog kind of weird or whatever. And the dog whimpered or whatever. Like the dog was like whimpering or whatever, and the dog went away. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's like one of the times where I feel like, so it ain't like, "Oh, Dad, go whack this person." Do you understand? It's just, I had been in fights and scuffles and stuff. Like, I didn't feel like having to come home and tell my dad about it or my mom about it, at the playground about stuff or people bullying me, and I just handle it right there, and then they don't mess with me no more. But I'm trying to show you an example of a time when I felt like I couldn't handle it and I had to go to my dad, and then it's like, damn, did my dad handle it, or was those people scared after that? Because whatever happened to that damn dog, because that dog was trying to bite my dad. You see, and most people don't get out and stand in front of somebody when there's something like that going on. And so that could have been something right there, okay? So this kind of thing, okay? Now, let's tell you about this. I was sitting here thinking, okay, whatever model of me whatever version of me that was at back then, maybe I'm not that version no more. Or maybe somebody mix up that story and say something, and maybe I was the DNA or my alien DNA at that time, and somebody took it away and said it's harmful to somebody, but really it was a situation like what I just told y'all. And somebody else could have went and said, "Oh, it was a girl here, she's weird," or whatever, "we were beating her up," or whatever, "she came here and then she did something and something weird happened to our dog," or who knows if what their version of the story was, if we now admit that some people that is different, including myself or others possibly, was here on this earth already. You see, because 2 times I've been hearing some crinkling sound or whatever. One time I was listening to my music and I heard some crinkling sound or whatever. And then one time when I was waking up from my dream, I was hearing some crinkling sound. And I don't know what the fuck it is, but it sounds familiar, but it don't sound familiar. But I'm like, what the fuck was that? What I was coming up out of my dream. Wasn't no words, but it's like it was like a frequency or something like that. Okay? So I don't know. All right? I'm getting that commercial when it's a movie or whatever, and they tell that girl, we cut off your hair or whatever so you can't reach your spaceship or something like this. Like, and she's like, what? You cut off my hair or whatever. So again, there's something strange that be going on with some shit like this. Okay, y'all. Okay? But I feel like wherever it is, I get a good feeling that something is not over or something like this. Like the games is getting, and I feel like there's people that's supposed to have my back or whatever this is, or the innocent person's back, and they're trying to weasel away. Like, oh, that was the last thing coming in from us. We're getting out of here. Our time is up or something like this. But you're phony. You wasn't even doing nothing. It seemed like you wasn't even doing nothing when you was here watching. You was just watching. You know how, like, I've been in school before, and a little kid was getting bullied or something like this, a classmate, and I'm looking around and I'm checking the teacher. I'm observing. You know, I always been like this, and I could see the teacher letting this child get attacked or turning the other cheek, or bitch, I know you seen that. I know you seen that, and it'll piss me off. And then I will end up probably standing up to the bully or something and say, hey, you better back off of this person or something like this. You know, just the way that I was. Because the teacher ain't going to do nothing. Y'all been to the principal office or something like this. I could see cause I always been somebody that, I don't know, when you go to the funeral and shit like this, okay, when you go to a funeral, you know, it's not really the dead person. I associate death differently now. Okay? My grandma's funeral, I was acting a damn fool. But I associate different with death now. So, or sometime between then and now, teenage years and now. But I noticed it was never really about the death. What was so emotional for me, it was the people that I cared about around me that was upset, and I could feel it's like a burning, it's like a something when if I see my dad crying or something like this, and my aunt or something, like it was like a triggering something that made me then just say, oh, you know, it wasn't really about the death of, you know, of the person. Or for my uncle's funeral though, my uncle Jesse, when we went around that little thing or whatever like this, everything was fine. I really was already at a different phase with death at that time. And so I wasn't really sad, or I was able to not be sad. I think I was even at a different place in my life at that time. And I wasn't even sad about the family members, because I feel like if I go back and measure now, something was very detached in the family at that time already. If I re-examine it, something was already detached or severed in the family at that time anyway. So I didn't like how emotional I felt when I was 16 at my grandma's, you know, but it was when I came around and I looked at him in the casket, and that's when I started crying for my uncle. But for my grandma, it was everybody else, like energy was like zapping me or something like this, and it made me very hysterical, right? So when another kid or something like this, and I could feel, it's almost like I could hear and feel like, oh my God, nobody helps me, you know, this hurts, I don't know what to do, like, or I'm gonna kill myself, you know, I could feel that off of a kid or something like this. And I could see the teacher, because the child might be dirty, or they don't have clean clothes, or, you know, something like this, or just because they was this or they was that. And then I could feel that kind of emotion coming off the child or whatever, even though I was just a child. And then that would make me, if the bully came again and I'm right there, that'll make me use my power or or my smart mouth. See, if somebody would clown on somebody or something, talk about something on them, they buttery teeth or something they couldn't help or something, then I'll open up my mouth and then I will slice the person with my words. I will examine how they move and what you saying or whatever, and then I'll examine you. And then I'll take, if you clowning this person, then I'm gonna clown your ass, and you're gonna be looking so stupid you ain't gonna want to talk to this person and say nothing to them. Now leave them alone or whatever. Anybody talking about your, you know how we used to do back in the day, your big humpback, you know how you do that, to kind of like roast somebody real quick, and then the person would leave the person alone or something like this. Okay, so I was just thinking about something like that. This could be why these entities could be trying to mess with our emotions, or make us cold hearted, or make us some kind of way, or make us not be able to hear. Or you're not picking up. This could be other things that's happening in the subconscious. You're not even aware when you lay down that sleep, that people come in your energy to give you messages, to send the messages up to God. If these people don't have God or wisdom, where they don't have whatever to see, you may be unaware that you could be a conduit or a vault because of something that these people have done with technology that give messages through. Or again, like Jesus said, I'm the way, I'm the light, nobody gets to the Father through me. Now these people could have dissected that to the point where they do have a way to get to the Father without me. And that means that, too bad for you. It's not like, hey, we got a way, so come on up and over because we got a way or whatever. No, it's like, we got a way and we tired of dealing with you. Now sit down there in this thing or whatever, and we're gonna, you stuck. You know what I'm saying? There's no okay, you only spot so everybody can get re-energized. Everybody's re-energized now. Yeah, everybody hands up. Okay, now let's bury Jesus. Do you get what I'm saying? This is like this is kind of like what this feels like or whatever this is, in case you ain't know. But now I'm really seeing it. When I look around, I was that for a lot of people, but it was rarely that for me. When somebody was fucking with me, I had to figure out. Most times I had to fight, or I had to figure out, or you know or people talk like, yeah, we gonna do this or something like this, or we'll fuck somebody up. But somebody might have, and sometimes they when you ran into that situation where you needed somebody, you coincidentally, the person that said they got your back never was there. And it don't have to be on purpose. It just could have just happened that way where they wasn't there, so you never really got to see if this person would have had your back or not. You see? But these people, it's almost like they use the access that the anointed ones have to send messages or to get stuff started, and then they just sacrifice the anointed one after they get to. That's what I was thinking with the Sinners movie. I haven't watched it yet, but I was wondering if there's like that group of people like this, like what Hitler. Because somebody's like, oh, Hitler didn't kill the Jews. He didn't want to kill the Jews. He wanted to exile them or something like this. But this is very much something that is, because think about it. If your person was on your side now, if your person, okay, say that you have a person or a teammate or you are like some of these people that was sent to Earth, and sometimes you would stay with that mate, and sometimes from you or something like this, okay? Let's say your person, there's a group of aliens or something that sent me a certain masculine here, but he became famous and I stayed regular, or he ended up dying and I'm still alive, or he ended up getting bit by a vampire and now he a vampire and now I'm here alone. And so you could be fighting a so-called twin flame, but they're not, I don't know, maybe they're not themselves anymore. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. in the Knight of Swords here. Yeah, look, somebody done cut somebody's hair or something. I mean, that could be dirt by his feet, but it looked like hair. Because I remember I shaved off my hair. You know how they say if a woman cut off her hair, she about to change her life or something. I cut my hair off like a couple times now within the past 4 years. But I remember there was an energy around me heavy, and I cut all my hair off, and I could feel the energy like, I'll be back later. We got to take a break from each other. It's like whoever this energy was, or this ancestor or whatever, they was pissed that I had cut my hair. Okay? It's like, I'll see you back later on when this shit grow back or something like this. Okay? So I don't know. Okay, this could be, something for somebody. All right? Maybe somebody was supposed to come back and they didn't. Nine of Swords. And now they feeling some kind of way. Somebody could be getting picked up out of their sleep. Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I know that rather the Carolinas we talking about is the state, or there's something that they built in this, between these two pillars that they're calling that. Right? So it would be nice to know if when my dad was saying, oh, I'm going to South Carolina for something, those 2 times when I ever only seen him travel, only 2 times in my life have I ever heard of my dad traveling, was those 2 times, once with the so-called wife and once with the girlfriend. Right? To say he got captured by some kind of people or tricked into some society or taken by some people, and they are the ones that been holding it. They was nice to the person. Like, they could have been calling themselves kings and queens. Could be Latin kings, bitch. I don't know who it could have been, but and they treated the person like a prisoner, but soft prisoner. Okay? And then this is how everything started to get changed by watchers or outsiders that were waiting for these opportunities. Okay? So I think both times was supposedly a family reunion. But like I said, these could be some type of meetings or something that was going on. I just think that I was not getting the truth. That's just how I feel. Okay? Yeah, this way, that way. This could be why somebody is kind of confused about which way to go. Because somebody was not getting the truth. Chariot. Okay? Yeah. Or who knows? A father could have had to lie and say that you didn't exist. Once they figured out what these people was about, they just said, yeah, it's just me. Or they could have said, yeah, it's just me and my girlfriend and her kids, or the wife and the kids. And then these people started something back then. You see? The devil in reverse. Because it's almost like they were trying to completely wipe out a bloodline. This could also be something where then God also seen this and made it so the person would be a girl. So, oh, ain't nothing but a girl? Oh, we don't got to worry about that. But they don't know something. Okay? Possibly. Yeah, and so now these people could be trying to, yeah. Okay, we got death here. Don't cross that line. Okay, death might be on some people or something. Now they're trying to hide these wands and get rid of everything in the evidence, or the cauldron, or the brewery, or the Brewington. They could be trying to hide all this stuff, put all these things that they was doing inside of this cauldron or this barrel or something like this, and try to blame it on the person with the alchemy instead of them. Okay, and this could be, if these people did this could be some people going to lose their head. All right. Yeah, because they did this so they can drain somebody of their energy and their resources and their properties and stuff like this. With this Hierophant in reverse, this could be a Taurus, a male Taurus, female Taurus, Tauruses, 3 Tauruses. Somebody was teaching these people how to do it. Some Taurus was teaching these people how to do something here. How to get somebody caught up with some spell work or paperwork or something like this, lies, manipulation, and it just so that people could lock this person down and drain them of the energy. Now, these could be what witches was doing to politicians and stuff like this throughout the years, or with foreigners, or with underground people, or Etruscans, or whoever this is, Native, anybody this could be. Okay, that have been doing this for all this time. And this is what some people was trying to stop from happening to me as a girl. But these girls, whoever these is, they knew the truth about the whole thing or something. They knew the core truth about something, whoever these people is. And they think that they about to do this to me like you did to all those men. And that's a no. Hold on one second. Oh, yeah, I got to go in a second. And this is the one thing when I'm saying no, that's where the shit ends. Okay? Mm-mm. Yeah, that's what we call it, quits. Now, again, these could be when these giants or these angels or fallen angels came down and took these. These were supposed to be my boys or my friends or my workers or my people or something like this. But they started to fall for the girls that was hanging around me in school or something like this. Could be my parents, my whatever, with my body or whatever this is. Okay? And so now, you all these years later, and these people came and said, okay, Lord, whatever this is. But then once they seen that everything ain't peaches and cream, and I'm looking back at these women, and I'm looking at and then I'm thinking, why am I getting resistance? Y'all working with me or whatever or whatever. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, that little girl about 16, 20. Oh, so y'all supposed to come down here and help me out back then. But you went back then and start creeping around with these other girls or whatever that was hanging around me and shit like this. And start building something. And I don't know what their database is like. They had a chance to ride and go all through my materials, if that's even the whole of it. But I wasn't aware that the people, I didn't know the world no other kind of way growing up. So I didn't know that we had extra devices on us. I didn't know that we could be hybrid. I didn't know none of this shit. But they did. The 15-year-olds that was forever youngers that was around me, that was paid by these parents and these other people that was out the Truman Show from the first generation and beyond, they knew what they was doing when they put them people around me, and they was more versed or experienced. So you was setting me up for a failure right there. Even with the fact of saying, oh, when you was out of school, first out of high school, you didn't even want to get no job. Damn right. I was the only one that was a normal teenager, but these bitches was like, trying to climb the ladder to be the manager at a fast food chain by the time they was 24 or something like this. That's good for you. But you know what I'm saying? But for me, that just wasn't the reality or whatever like this. Okay. But what else would even if they have a young body, what else would a 40-year-old woman be wanting to do? I was really a 15-year-old kid. Do you see what I'm saying? So, of course, for me, the transition from teenager to being serious and having to buckle down to a job or something, it was no problem for these girls. Like, this could be jihad or also this kind of energy, too. The girl's mother was like, you better get the fuck out there and get a job. I don't know what the fuck you asking me for something for. Hell no. You better get at 15 to go work down there, walk down there to McDonald's or walk down there to Burger King. Shit. And I was still like, Dad, can I just get some money? Because I want to go over here and get this. I'm hungry. I want to go get this food or out to eat or something. So somebody could misinterpret that or something like this, right? Work hard, play hard or something like this. But the thing that I'm not respecting is that they had to take something from me in order to do that. That's the thing that I'm not respecting. I'm not respecting that these people had an unfair advantage. And again, they're not a part of the kingdom, and you claiming to be a part of the kingdom. And if something is dangling by a thread, and it's my existence or my legacy, and this could be the thing that we all should be grateful to a certain extent, if y'all wasn't being fucking greedy and nasty and stanky about the situation, everybody would be able to have their place here and then move forward or something. But somebody didn't want it to be like that. Okay. If this is my last result, everything would be laid waste. Cause you thought you was playing too much. So when Damien's like, yeah, when dragons rule, they burn down the whole into everything. It's like, well, damn. I mean, if the dragon don't burn, I guess it's a risk to take. You know what I'm saying? Cause what do we know? This could be associated with Hitler or whatever, why everything had to burn down. But then again, you have these men in some kind of position that was being compromised to some type of level to let this shit get out of control like this anyway. So we got this gesture energy burning these people. Okay. This could be something about the inner child energy. I'm getting like Drop Dead Fred. That used to be my shit. I used to watch that over and over again when I was little. Not even a fire truck can stop Drop Dead Fred. You know what I'm saying? The girl was getting in trouble. Everything. I like the mud pie part, okay, in the movie. I just love that damn movie. Anyways, you know, but remember her husband left her? You know, she had to start all over. Charles, I think was his name. I'm not laughing because this could be my fucking situation, okay? But you see what I'm saying. All right? But I don't know. This could be like, I don't know what this is. Hi, Yanni. Oh, anyways, y'all, I gotta go get, hold on one second. Damn. She just reminded me.